Imagine a world where intellect meets raw physical power, where every punch and every strategic move could decide victory or defeat. A sport so unique that it merges cerebral intensity with brute force in a beautiful but merciless 1-2 punch. A sport that somehow has its foundations in a French cartoonist, a Dutch performance artist, and hip-hop legends the Wu-Tang Clan. This video is the first of what will be an ongoing series where we explore some of the most obscure sports in the world. And without further ado, let's talk about one of the most unlikely mashups in sports history, chess boxing. The history. As the story goes, British brothers Stuart and James Robinson were ready to hop in the ring at their local boxing club when a trainer didn't show up. It seems there was a chess club meetup there on the same night, so the brothers thought, hey, now that's an idea. This became a regular thing for them over the years. The brothers would box in the ring and then sit down at the board. But obviously people thought they were nuts, and so it didn't go anywhere. Then, in 1979, the kung fu film Mystery of Chess Boxing officially coined the term that would come to define the sport. But as the film dealt with the Chinese variant of chess, and the film wasn't in English, and that this was in 1979, it didn't spread much further than the aficionados of late 70s Hong Kong kung fu cinema. However, chess boxing reached a much wider and diverse audience in 1993 when the Wu-Tang Clan, a popular hip-hop group, released the song Da Mystery of Chess Boxing, an homage to that 1979 film. The song did nothing, it wasn't released as a single, but the chess boxing snowball was starting to grow. The first chess boxing event was put on by Dutch performance artist Yves Rubin, and he got the idea from a 1992 comic called Foi Équateur, written by French comic book artist Enki Bilal. In the comic, a chess boxing world championship is portrayed, but Rubin developed the idea further into the competitive sport that chess boxing is today, with a detailed set of rules and regulations. The rules. You ready for this? Okay, here we go. A match consists of 11 alternating rounds of chess and boxing. Each boxing round lasts 3 minutes, and each is followed by a 1-minute break. The chess rounds are played under time control with a total of 9 minutes allotted to each player and no increment added to either player's clock after a move is made. So how do you win? Well, there are a few different ways. Like in boxing, you can win by knockout or technical knockout in the ring. That makes sense. And like in chess, you can win by checkmating your opponent on the board, or if your opponent runs out of time on their clock. That also makes sense. And like just about any other sport on earth, you can win if your opponent resigns in either discipline, or if they are disqualified for a rules infraction. This disqualification option is actually pretty important as it prevents a fighter who is in an unwinnable position in one discipline from stalling to attempt to win in the other. There are also other rules and regulations that lead to a winner in the event of a draw at the end of either the chess or boxing segments. And before you ask, yes, there are weight classes in chess boxing, just like regular boxing. Come on, that's just a safety issue, folks. Be reasonable. Men and women also compete in separate divisions. Organization and athlete standards. Now, you may be forgiven for thinking that this is just a bunch of clowns merging these two distinct sports as a joke, but this sport is no laughing matter. It has proper organization, strict rules for adherence, and serious standards for participants. Let's start with the athletes themselves. This probably goes without saying, but you need to be strong in both disciplines in order to excel at chess boxing. As mentioned in the previous section outlining the rules, there are methods in place to keep someone from exploiting strength in one discipline to make up for weakness in another. So it's critical for a chess boxer to be both a chess player and a boxer, not one or the other. Currently, there are minimum requirements in order to compete in a chess boxing global event. On the chess side, a participant must have a prescribed minimum ELO rating. For those that aren't familiar with it, ELO is a rating system developed by a Hungarian-American physics professor named Arpad Elo. It is a method for calculating the relative skill level of players in zero-sum games, so it's perfectly suited for chess, and it's been the standard against which chess players have been measured for decades. At present, in order to compete in a sanctioned chess boxing event, a player must have a minimum ELO of 1600. This wouldn't be considered an absolutely incredible chess ELO, but a 1600 is no slouch either. But remember, because there are time controls on the chess side of this sport, you can't just be good at classical chess, where time is less of a factor. You actually have to be really good at what is known as speed chess. So you have to be able to make very accurate moves very quickly. On the boxing side, the current standard is that the participant has to have appeared in at least 50 amateur fights as either a boxer and in some other closely related martial art. That's 50, 5-0. That is a heck of a lot of fights, there's no doubt about it. And you can understand why that would be a requirement. After all, these athletes are about to step into a ring and try to beat the crap out of one another. So you want to make sure that these are experienced fighters who have the capability to hold their own and ideally not get seriously hurt. From an organizational perspective, chess boxing is a little confusing for an outsider. The leading umbrella organization for international amateur chess boxing is called the World Chess Boxing Organization, or WCBO. The previously mentioned Dutch performance artist Ipe Ruben created this organization in 2003, and it's legally recognized as a nonprofit in Germany, where it's headquartered. Its stated goal is to establish the WCBO as the worldwide organization for the sport of chess boxing. It was formerly the official organizer of the Chess Boxing World Championships until 2013, when it recognized Chess Boxing Global as the exclusive marketing agent of professional chess boxing fights. Why this gets a bit more confusing is that there's another organization called the World Chess Boxing Association, or WCBA. Its current president is English chess boxing heavyweight champion Tim Wolgar, who formed the group in 2013 after having separated from the WCBO. There are other smaller competing organizations at a local and regional level as well, which further muddies the water. So it's a bit murky to say the least. Just my 2 cents to the chess boxing folks of the world, but it would be great if you could just line this all up under a single roof. Just ask the PGA LIV folks what it's like to have competition at an organizational level. It is not good for the sport. The future of chess boxing. In recent years, there's been an absolute boom in the popularity of chess as a sport. The COVID pandemic was a huge catalyst to bring an entirely new generation of participants to chess, creating a massive pool of new players, especially younger folks. Alongside this surge in popularity, chess boxing has also taken hold and continues to gain momentum. More and more sanctioned chess boxing matches are taking place, and not surprisingly, they are leveraging this new, younger audience to build momentum. Chess boxing is also taking advantage of social media platforms like YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok to not just create more awareness for the sport, but also broadcast actual events. In late 2022, for example, YouTube personality Ludwig Agren hosted a chess boxing competition called Mogul Chess Boxing, featuring other YouTube and Twitch celebrities. The stream peaked at more than 300,000 viewers, and it made it one of the most watched chess boxing events ever. So will chess boxing move from being an obscure sport into the mainstream? Well, only time will tell. But as intellectual events like chess or combat sports like boxing continue to attract massive audiences, especially amongst younger viewers, it seems as though chess boxing will at least be sticking around for some time to come. That's the video for today, everyone. Let me know your thoughts on chess boxing in the comments below. And as mentioned at the start, if there are obscure sports you'd like to see covered on this channel as part of this series, let me know, and then we can shine some light on these darker corners of athletics. Until next time, friends, remember, you can fight with both your mind and your fists.